Hello everyone. Let me show you how I created this animation. Let's get started. Start by creating a new composition. Resolution of 1920 by 1080 pixels, 29.97 frames per second and 3 seconds long. Now let's create the background. Right-click in the timeline and add a new solid. Next, go to the Effects and Presets panel and search for 4-color gradient. Once you find it, drag and drop it onto the layer. If you don't see the Effects and Presets panel, go to the top menu, click Window, and enable Effects and Presets. Now, choose for colors for your gradient. Feel free to use any combination you like, it's totally up to your style. In this example, I've already picked the colors I'll be working with. Now I'll choose a color for the first point, and this one for the second. Let's go with this for the third. And for the last point. Just click on this box and choose any color you like. Let's set keyframes for each of the 4 points. Make sure you're at the very beginning of the timeline at frame 0 before doing that. Alright, let's place the points. First one goes here. Second one over here. Third one right here. And the last one goes just about here. Click on the layer and press U on your keyboard to reveal the keyframes. Now, let's move to the very end of the timeline at 3 seconds. Set the first point here. Place the second one here. Move the third point to this position. And finally, adjust the fourth point over here. Now set the blend value to 300% to soften the transitions between the colors. Now let's add a bit of noise to smooth out any color banding. Search for noise in the Effects and Presets panel, apply it to the layer, and set the amount of noise to 2%. Next, let's create our text. I'll type Avrin in all caps, using the Poppins semi-bold font at size 150. Now let's center the anchor point. Right-click on the text layer, go to Transform, and center it. Then let's align the text to the center of the composition using the Align panel. If you don't see that panel, just go to the top menu, click Window, and enable Align. It's in the same place as Effects and Presets. Now we need to duplicate the text layer. Press Command+D on Mac or Control+D on Windows. Duplicate it as many times as there are letters in the word. Search for Fill in the Effects and Presets panel and apply it to the bottom text layer. Now let's separate each letter. Solo the current layer and the one above it by clicking the little circle. Delete all letters except the one you need, and place it where it belongs. Repeat the same for each letter. I'll speed this up. Looks good. Let's make sure all the letters are in the right place. Now select all the letter layers from the second to the last and pre-compose them into one layer. Name the pre-comp text, and make sure Move All Attributes into the new composition is selected. Now let's convert the letter A into a shape layer. You can now delete the original A text layer, we won't need it anymore. Then activate the rulers by pressing Command+R on Mac or Control+R on Windows. I'll drag out a few guidelines and place them as shown on the screen. This will help with precise animation. Now let's move the anchor point to the bottom of the letter A. This will make the animation look more natural later. Now search for a path. At 1 second, add a keyframe. Then go to frame 15 and adjust the points to turn the letter into a vertical line. Now select both keyframes and press F9 to easy ease them. Then open the graph editor. If your graph looks different, make sure you're using the speed graph and adjust the curve as shown on the screen. To smooth out the animation. Now let's animate the position. With the shape layer selected, press P to reveal the position property. Set a keyframe at 1 second and 15 frames using the stopwatch. Then move back to frame 15 and drag the letter to the left. Just make sure it doesn't overlap the main text. Now let's animate the scale. Press Shift+S to open the scale property while keeping the position visible. At frame 20, set a keyframe. Then go back to frame 0, click the chain icon to unlink the axis, and set the axis I'm showing here to 0. Go to frame 7 and set the scale to 120. Then to frame 13 and set it to 90. Finally, select all the keyframes, press F9, and adjust the curve in the graph editor as shown on screen. We can now remove the guidelines, we don't need them anymore. Let's take a quick look. Perfect. Now let's animate the rest of the text. Let's change the background color. Go to frame 22. Select all the letter layers and press P. Click the stopwatch, then move to the beginning of the timeline. Select V and nudge it 2 times. E 3 times. R 4 times. I 5 times. And N 6 times. Now select all the keyframes. Press F9 to easy ease and adjust the graph editor as shown on screen. Let's take a quick look at how that turned out. Max dying. Great timing, as always. Let's move the text layer to frame 22 on the timeline. Next, let's create a shape mask. Select the pen tool and make sure no layers are selected, otherwise, it'll create a mask instead of a new shape. Now draw a white shape that covers the text the way you want. Name this one mask so it's easier to keep track. Place this shape layer below the text pre-comp and use Track Matte to link the text to the mask. If you don't see the Track Matte panel, click the Toggle Switches Modes button at the bottom of the timeline. Now parent the mask to the letter A shape layer. Now let's create a rectangle. Select the rectangle tool, hold Shift, and draw a perfect square. Align it with the letter A, and move the shape layer so it starts at 1 second on the timeline. Select the layer and press S to open scale. Go back to 1 second, and set the scale to 0, 0. At 110, set it to 150. Set a keyframe at 2 seconds. And set the scale to 100. Now press Shift plus R to open rotation alongside scale. Add a keyframe at 1 second, then go to 120 and set the rotation to 223 degrees. Finally, select all the keyframes for scale and rotation. Press F9 to easy ease. Let's take a look at what we've got so far. Looks like we need to adjust the mask a bit, there's too much empty space. And now yes, that's perfect. I like it. The animation is complete. Hope you found this helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more tutorials.